Another angle at the WSOP. An online bracelet event was canceled after technical issues. One big blind stacks on the stone bubble were forced to bag and come back despite their objections. Plus, 2 people were shot dead. It's actually terribly upsetting.
You're a champion.
Hi, I'm Ryan Depaulo, and welcome back to the DGen Debrief. This is just, I don't know why this is up here. I can't really tell you about it, but if you were to go to Coin and input it from America, I can't tell you about any of it. A possible angle was caught at the final table of the 25K High Roller 6 Max WSOP bracelet event. The possible shooter was Lazarus, a Slovenian pro with about 1 million in live tournament earnings and 10 times that in the bot farm he probably runs. Now, at first glance to the untrained eye, this seems similar to the angle that our boy Chev tried to do a couple weeks ago on this channel. Situation here, though, a little bit different. And after Chris Moorman gets the spicy raise on the button with 9-4 suited from the small blind, Jared Blesnick, who I'm still not sure, despite having nearly 10 million in career tournament earnings, if he's a whale or not, or acts like a whale, or is a jerk off. I can't get a read on the guy. I haven't met him. He seems awesome. Who the fuck knows? You're playing the role well of a shitty fucking doof. No disrespect. Anyway. He 3-bets with the Queen Jack suited here. Now it's on our boy Zerjav. This appears to be just a much more innocent mistake.
1.3. 1.3.
Excuse me?
1.5.
What does that mean?
As he says 1.3, but has 3.1 in his hand, and it seems that he meant to clearly cold 4-bet, but Chris Moorman jokingly commented like, oh, in case it's an angle, I'm gonna fold.
And so we'll make that a call.
Oh, this is a very, very bizarre one. I don't...
Before I do things, still.
He's fucking around. He would never call the 9-4 suited. Let's talk about Landon. Landon Tice is a creator of the Dogs of the Vlog bit on my channel. Go back and see a Landon that was young and still having fun instead of this Dahmer-looking Mizrag he's turning into.
Dogs for the vlog. Dogs for the vlog coming soon. Oh, there's a dog for the vlog!
Zerjav ended up treating Blez's chips like his teenage daughter and taking them while they're studying abroad when he flops top set and wins a massive pot. So being in a hand that you normally wouldn't be in and calling flop end turn and losing a big pot if you're in Blesnick's shoes is the reason you may suspect this to be an angle. This would be the desired outcome, but I don't think this was. I think it was a mistake. Oh God, Blez has a hat with Blez on it? Like, I guess that's cool. I didn't know you sell merch as like a regular person. Anyway, Blez Lightyear starts to apologize once Blez regular folds.
I'm sorry, man. I wanted to do a 3.3. I don't know why I said 1.3.
Not to be racist, but after hearing this guy's Slovenian accent, I changed my mind and think this was in fact an angle. Jared may agree.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, even if B-Laz did angle you, which I'm pretty sure he didn't, if a guy who speaks English as a second language messing up vocalizing the size of a 4-bet is the weirdest thing you've ever seen, you gotta go touch grass, man. If that could just go to fucking Walmart, right? Like walk down one street in Manhattan. Last time I was at Walmart, I saw a lady smear feces in a mop bucket. Now that was actually an angle. He was just trying to get it for free. We're 2 for 2 now with misclick situations that may or may not be angle, and I think I need to start implement misclicking with my verbals. Now, this tournament made news earlier than the final table, though, when 72 players maxed late registered all at once, and it threw the whole tournament floor into chaos, and it caused the tournament to have to go on break and redraw for tables. Over recent years, people have realized more and more the benefits of max late registering, and these high roller pros certainly do. Either you are on time or you max late register. Going in an hour before registration closes, you just middle ground fuck yourself. Once you're late beyond a certain point, you might as well just get the full benefit of having people eliminated and being deeper in the tournament, right? And a lot of these high roller guys who can play in 25Ks, their hourly rate of life, if you can afford to play a 25K, is often not made playing poker, and you can make more money doing other things, whatever, on top of doing the best strategies. But this looks like an online tournament that's about to overlay when 72 fucking motherfuckers come out of nowhere and ruin it for everybody. I hope throwables come next. Gus Hansen, the Nick Airball of the early 2000s, is back in action and got into one of the craziest hands ever seen in the 10K 7-card stud bracelet event. Gus Hansen and something Urbanovich turned over exactly the same flush, except every single card was exactly the same, which the odds of that happening are 584,000 to 1, which are the same odds as the people bet that Gus Hansen would not be broke by the year 2025. For real, type Gus Hansen's name into Google for the last 20 years and it would auto-finish your inquiry with broke. Everyone at the table was in shock, but not as shocked to hear of this next stud, speaking of stud in his own right. Mike the Mobility Matusow ran deep in the 10K stud high bracelet event, dodging and weaving his way through a massive field of 64 players to finish in 62nd place. I'm joking, no, the Mobility actually made the final table of the event, saying, I think I have a really good chance. Hopefully it'll be my day tomorrow, to reporters before the final table.
I've been really sharp for like 2-3 months. I prepared for 5 weeks to be on the right sleep schedule. So many years I've gotten ahead of myself. 12 final tables the last like 6 years I couldn't win. This year, a little bit different attitude. Whatever happens, happens. And whatever's meant to be is meant to be.
He then went on to bust 8th out of 9th. And fall off a ladder again. Now, Mike recently had a documentary made about him, and it's up for free on YouTube. Very interesting, go check it out. The documentary shows you some really great insights into Mike's life, like showing him crying because Phil Hellmuth won a bracelet. As well as him not crying when hearing his mom and brother talk about how he's kind of a scumbag and owes them money.
I just don't like the fact when he borrows all that money, he's never made an attempt to even say, here's some back. That's what bothers me. I know you very well.
You know me great. Every time I came over, I told you I can't get up. Dad kept saying, get up, I need this. Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? And you guys have said, oh, you're faking your injury.
Okay.
You're faking your
Wrong.
injury.
That's all BS. That's all BS.
Now we're going out in the field with our DGen Debrief correspondent, Daniel the Donut Lazarus. He bagged chips in the WSOP 2500 Hold'em bracelet event, but there's a little bit of controversy last night as for some reason the floor decided to make the players bag chips on the stone bubble, and there were multiple one big blind stacks. Despite players' objections, I'm not sure the exact story. Do we have Danny now? Danny?
Thanks, Ryan. I'm here at event number 29, the 2500 No Limit Hold'em bracelet event. I was supposed to meet with Mike Holtz and ask him how he felt about being forced to come back with only one big blind on the stone bubble, but he's nowhere to be found. With that, I got nothing for you, Ryan. Daniel Lazarus, back to you.
Wow, thank you, Danny. I'll see you soon. You know Danny was so fat in college, his nickname was Stone Bubble? So, Martin Cabril, the coked out Lego man from last episode, possibly autistic, went viral again after needled Stephen Chidwick mid-bust out. Check it out.
Good luck with rebuy, Stevie. You have it still? Sorry? You have a rebuy? Okay. If you need money, just ask me, okay? Nice slow roll. I would take 6 more minutes, but very nice slow roll.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cabril is just so focused on pissing people off that he lives every aspect of his life on it. His grooming, his food, his loadout is manufactured to needle. Like he's probably eating pickled herring because it smells so bad people want to bust. He takes special eye drops to make his eyes all beady and evil. He probably goes into paling beds to make him look more pale and sickly. Do they have those? Do they have paling beds? Poker pro Michael Lavin, with about $600,000 in live tournament earnings, became the next instant millionaire of this summer after he won a free roll on another site. This promotion was if you won a massive free roll and win a bracelet, you get $1 million, and this guy actually did it. Boski actually won one of these tickets, so hopefully he wins a bracelet and then saves all the money responsibly and plays $11 events like he does. But Lavin actually played a really good final table, ignoring out the other players at the table, begging him to win so they could chop the bounty. That definitely didn't happen.
Has WPT Gold thought about that? Like, he could literally offer us, how about we let him win? We all take 100K. I mean, shit. We'll walk away.
I mean, this guy's, yeah, I don't think, if you want to do this, you got to do it under the table. You can't talk about it on the stream.
He said he had to switch up his strategy and not care so much about ICM because he needed to go for the dub.
Is it a... No, I have to call off ace queen because...
You win.
Yeah. Second, you get just that, right? Second, no bonus.
Second, no bonus.
No, just win. Win only.
First place. He's still playing the shootout.
I know.
He had a lot more money up top than the other players. It makes sense. Congrats to Lavin, and good game to all the WPT Gold employees who have to take a pay cut so they can pay out the prize pool that they definitely didn't think was going to have to be paid out when the one degenerate guy was like, guys, I'm telling you we're good. We'll get all the credit. I wonder who is even in charge. Who's the head of marketing at WPT Gold? Who the hell comes up with these type of promos at WPT Gold? I mean, how can you afford to give away millions like this? Oh. Okay, that makes sense. Speaking of bad beats, Ben Lamb got crushed by a wolf. Got crushed by the deck in the 25K No Limit Hold'em / PLO bracelet event. He made it all the way to heads up with a massive 4-1 chip lead. Take a look what happened next.
Talking about 1.3
He does make the call, and this is a huge, huge pot. Forget about that 4-1 chip deficit. We're heads up, and we've got a battle.
Sweet Lou Garza ended up winning big hand after big hand to eventually win the tournament. The winner of the 25K PLO or some shit 2 years ago, it was a weird matchup as these two playing heads up couldn't look like two more completely different individuals.
Give him my motherfucking bracelet again, goddammit.
Ben Lamb looking like he sells BMWs to pill-addicted housewives, and Garza looking like he buys BMWs and sells pills to said wives.
What up? It's the Trooper.
Oh, everyone, it's everyone's favorite part of the DGen debrief, the coin code RDP Trooper moment. Let's see what he's got to say today.
This is Coin Poker's code RDP Trooper moment.
It's nearly midnight, and we just had one of the most fun Trooper Thursdays ever. I said it. Really appreciate everyone who came to the game. People from Wales, people from England.
See, I knew Trooper Thursdays mattered to people. It's important, Trooper.
People from Ohio. Just a lot of fun.
Wow, this Foggy seems really happy and positive. Like he's not going into some weird, angry riddle that doesn't make any sense.
I am prepared for every possible scenario. I'm not going to say any more than that because I don't want to give anyone any ideas. But you're a psychopath, and you better hope that I never find out who you are. Came up dry because why? Because I am way too smart for that, and I figured that would have happened a long time ago.
Whoa, did you guys hear that? Trooper is prepared for everything. Well, except for an opponent calling his turn jam with a pair, or an internet clown making fun of him a little bit, or probably a size small hat. But he's prepared for everything other than that. Now, hopefully that last bit has nothing to do with our next and main story about two people are dead and caused chaos last night in the Las Vegas Strip, right in front of the iconic Bellagio fountains, which I would consider Times Square of the Las Vegas Strip, the most crowded, horrible place filled with trashy people trying to act classy. That's the vibe there, and this is not going to help that. Bellagio's done everything they can to mitigate the junk, but they can make the minimums $200, it seems, at this point, and somehow these chin-strap juggalo Mexicans with rings on will still end up there with their chilotas. I don't even know if that's a word. So if you want a more in-depth coverage of the backstory of this incident, go to Poker Fraud Alert Podcast. That's where I got a lot of my information from, and I like the show. So the backstory of this incident begins with a YouTuber, Sin City Manny. He would post content of himself around the Vegas Strip just being generally gay, wearing juggalo makeup, I don't know what the fuck he'd do, spin shit stupid, live streaming, getting donations, internet beggar. A viewer of his named Finney for a while would chat and donate, but he would kind of fuck with Manny, asking him to do silly shit with some light trolling, but seemed to be a fan is what I gather. The trolling then escalated though when they had a falling out of some kind, and Finney ended up making his own YouTube channel called Sin City Finney, dedicated entirely basically to mocking Sin City Manny. The two went back and forth with copyright strikes, uninteresting content, horrible thumbnails, and unwatchable videos, until one day they realized 4,000 subscribers after 4 years is just not worth their time, and everybody walked away safe. Just kidding, one of them got so upset he killed the other and his wife in the middle of Las Vegas. All traffic was shut down immediately and cars were at a standstill on the Strip. However, those in the Paris parking lot across the street at the World Series of Poker had no idea anything was going on, as the 33-minute wait to leave the parking lot was actually unchanged. For some reason, a lot of ridiculous comments all over the place seem to imply that you deserve to get murdered on some level if you use your YouTube channel to make fun of people. I hope that's not true. Wait, am I gonna get murdered? Yo, Troop, man. My wife, at least, she didn't do anything. Come on, Troop. The WSOP, despite having an active shooter right across the street, carried on as normal. This is standard practice in poker, as even shootings inside of the same room in Texas a couple years ago saw continued play at tables in the area. I think everyone was pretty determined at the WSOP to deliberately underreact, as in 2022, someone throwing rocks at the side of the casino caused everyone to overreact, and people got injured in a fear that there was a shooter. This time, though, it wasn't a bluff. It was for value. Lots of media coverage, though, surrounding the event. As I said, the Poker Fraud Alert podcast posted some great content, but I wanted to look and do research for a more serious deep dive, and I'm sure for that I like to go to the local news. I mean, surely they have cameras on the scene right away, and they have some great insider exclusive footage of the aftermath. Okay, so their cameras weren't there, but maybe they interviewed some of Manny's family members, or they went to his house to find some people, maybe even someone who was on the street in the vicinity.
My wife and I were actually watching the fountain view here on our balcony, and just out of nowhere, we heard a first bang. It was a horrifying situation.
No, they just chose the 789,000th person most impacted by the story.
Edward and his wife are in town for their 13th wedding anniversary. He tells me that both of them were in shock and fear.
Okay. What the kind of interview is this? He shot a blurry video from Mars and he gets a 2-minute news piece? Hey, you know what would have been sick is if you got people who were 6 or 7 feet away.
From where we were at, I mean, it was just so loud. It sounded like it was maybe 6, 7 feet away from us.
The gunshot sounded so close and so scary. I drank all the beers at the mini bar, and I just don't think it's fair I have to pay.
He's being held on 2 charges of open murder with a deadly weapon.
Jesus Christ, this is a story about 2 people being shot dead when we choose a POV angle of a corpse on the sidewalk? Is this better than the 2 black bars? Like, what are we doing with this graphic, guys?
Police say this is an isolated incident that may have stemmed from a social media dispute.
What the f do they mean this may have stemmed from a social media dispute? You're the fucking news. We know for a fact there's infinite info. How did the DGen Debrief do better research in 2 minutes and all they got is some lying Mexican 900 feet away showing his garbage footage? This is your fucking news piece? Like, what is this?
Edward and his wife returned to the Strip Monday, less than 24 hours later.
How stunning. How brave.
We are still working to learn more information on what led up to this deadly shooting, such as how many shots were fired and the identity of the victims.
I can't get over how lazy this piece is. I learned no information, got no inside knowledge. For sure took the research budget for this piece and blasted 3 bullets in the Colossus. Then like an hour before the piece was due, just asked if anyone at the craps table had any footage of the aftermath from a $250 bracelet event, multi-day, was shut down as WSOP.com is still working out the kinks. They famously could not run multi-day events on the old platform. And since updating, things have gone generally smoothly, except they keep kicking me off of New Jersey because I'm like overdraft my account and keep trying to deposit multiple times and they think it's fraud. Please unblock my account. So what the fuck happened, bro? Well, they don't know. There were technical difficulties. Many players were frustrated as they couldn't log back in. Maybe there was 1 or 2 players on day 2 sitting at tables while everyone else was not there and blinds were being stolen. A big kicker in this story, though, is that the biggest bounty was pulled before they decided to cancel it. It's unclear how they're going to pay players out. I just know that even if they overpay grossly, all poker players are just going to be grateful and happy about it and not complain at all. Really, though, it is interesting what's going to happen if you pulled the biggest bounty, but it was a not valid tournament with half the people sitting out. I would pull a Manny, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'll be back in Vegas, guys. And, you know, if you're going to play online, you know where to go. If you can read my handwriting.
Make the booty bounce on the dance floor.
Now, he doesn't deserve any applause. He called with King Jack.